See, like, that's the thing. You got to have the big luggage. You have to have nice luggage, Jim. That's the thing. Welcome into the show, everybody. This is the Farzy Show. My name is Marc Farzetta, and we're here at the Steven Singer Studios. The PJ and I, producer Jim and I were just talking about before the show. See, PJ's leaving us for a couple of days. He's on vacation, right? And one thing I'm going to champion of all the shaming we do nowadays, and what you're not supposed to do, no. Listen to me. No vacay shaming. People earn their vacation. Take it willy-nilly. Take it whenever you want. No vacay shaming. All right? That's the stance on this program. Tell you that much. Yeah, the thing is, he was just saying to me that he didn't have a suitcase. And I told him, like that's when you know you're an adult, is when you're like, oh, yeah, I need to get a nice suitcase. Like, I'll never forget my brother, who's older than me by about 3 years. He's forever 10 years old. And I'll never forget, like, what the first year he asked my parents, he asked Santa for nice luggage, because he started going on these work trips. He works in the pharma business, and he was going on these work trips, and everyone had nice luggage, and he had like his freshman year of high school basketball gym bag. Like, that was his luggage, and he's like, everyone has nice luggage. And then he got the Santa and the elves. They made him a nice full luggage set. So there you go. It's nice. Treat yourself. You got to treat yourself to a nice piece of luggage. Oh man, you feel organized. Feel like an adult. Feel like you got power right there. Anywho, how about them Flyers, folks? Nice little 6-1 victory over the Kraken. I can't help it. The Kraken sweaters are just amazing. They are just a beautiful, beautiful sweater. But the Flyers offense was even more beautiful. Carter Hart snapped out of whatever trance he was in the opener and bounced back wildly awesome in this game against the Kraken. So nice Flyers start off with the night, or see the Flyers get a victory last night with a 6-1. You got Claude Giroux lighting the lamp twice in 2 games. You got Travis Konecny doing the same thing. You got Thompson. You got Sealer. Those guys are fighting people. It could not have been a better game for the Flyers. To watch that last night was just awesome. Way to go to the Orange and Black, hitting themselves the first win of the season. 1-0-1 now on the regular season. So there you go. Most important thing after last night's game, not just the offense, it was 6 goals, which was awesome, but Carter Hart looked all out of sorts. We talked about it yesterday with Riley Cote. All out of sorts, ladies and gentlemen, during his first game of the season. This one bounced right back. Sharp, crisp, heroic at times, diving across the net for a save. That was pretty nice. Like seeing that. Oh, who was that? Arabi was the one that tried to put that one past him. But he went up there and he was able to stop it with a dive across the crease. So love seeing that last night from the Orange and Black. So I wanted to start out with something positive, and that was the Flyers. Now I'm going to start out with something that absolutely took the Twitterverse by storm yesterday, and that was Ben Simmons at practice. I am going to put the AI practice rant to shame today. That's what I'm going to do. Because I'm not just going to be breaking down practice. No. I'm not just going to be talking about practice, just the practice, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be talking about what happened during a practice that's even more futile than practice itself, which is a breakdown. Putting your hands in 1, 2, 3 Sixers. 1, 2, 3 win. 1, 2, 3 practice. 1, 2, 3. Holy crap! Ben actually showed up. What's he doing here? This is really awkward. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going to talk about today. And I take no pride in doing this. I'm certainly not proud that I'm doing this, but I have to do this because I think people need to see it. And if you haven't heard about it, if you're listening to the podcast today, if you're watching it on YouTube, if you're watching it across our social media platforms, Twitter, whatever, then you'll see it if you haven't seen it yet. But Ben Simmons, I'll say this, during practice looked like he was going through the motions. Like, I don't like to claim to be a body language expert. I don't like to look at a guy and be like, oh, that guy's mopey, because whatever story is influencing your thought or your vision, you're watching it through that lens. Like, we all know what's going on in the offseason here with Ben Simmons. We all know he doesn't want to be here. We know he's here to collect his paycheck. So I'm watching that with that knowledge. I'm watching the video and I'm going, yeah, that guy looks disinterested. But, like, is he disinterested, or is he just, looking like a guy who hasn't practiced with his team since the end of last year? I'm going to go ahead and err on the side of just taking the blatant hot take and say, which I don't think is that hot take, because with that information from over the season comes a little bit of knowledge there that he doesn't want to be here. So he looks like a guy who doesn't want to be here. Now, throughout the practice, it was reported partially by our friend Kyle Neubeck, who's going to be joining us on the show today. Hugh Douglas will be on the show today as well. We got a twofer, ladies and gentlemen. Hugh Douglas will join the show, as well as Kyle Neubeck from Philly Voice. And they'll be joining us, of course, on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. Hugh to take us through everything about the Hall of Fame induction weekend with his friend Trey Thomas and John Runyon, as well as what he thinks of Nick Sirianni's offense here in Philadelphia. Kyle will take us through everything that we got to get through here regarding Ben Simmons. But Ben Simmons is practicing yesterday, quote unquote practice, and he had something in his pocket. What started up on Twitter yesterday was that it was a cell phone in his pocket. Ben is practicing with a cell phone in his pocket. And like most of you, I get my information from this little thing here, this little phone, right? And I'm scrolling through it, I'm looking at it, and I'm going, what do you know? It does look like a cell phone in Ben Simmons' pocket. It was not a cell phone in Ben Simmons' pocket. It was a shirt. Supposedly it was a practice shirt. And when you look around practice, Ben was the only one that did not have a penny on, if you will, a practice jersey. I called it a penny. A practice jersey on. So, yeah, most likely they handed it to him. He rolled it up, put it in his sweatpants, and then just started to go through the motions of practice. He didn't take part in all team drills. You can see him taking part in a couple of defensive drills. But this is what I want to get to here. Doc Rivers yesterday, and this is before I get to the breakdown, to the handshake, right? Doc Rivers addressing the media yesterday was asked about the chemistry with Ben Simmons at practice and how it's going. And here's how Doc Rivers responded to it, courtesy of 6ABC. Jamie Apodi with the questions.
Yeah, it'll grow. It'll come back. I'm not that concerned right now with it. They're interchanging. It's coming, and it just takes time. So chemistry's huge, and I think overall our chemistry is phenomenal right now, and we want to keep it growing.
Have you seen the confidence on his part? I mean, it's human seeming at the first shot, and shy away, and someone that's coming in.
Yeah, you see a little bit at a time, and way more today than yesterday, and it's just going to keep getting better.
That's good that it'll get better, because I hope it does get better. I'm not rooting for this to be a great conflagration. Thank you, Mr. Blaney. But I am looking for this to be something that does have a happy ending for the Sixers, because that's all I care about. Whether that's a happy ending with Ben Simmons coming out here and actually making something happen, or that's another team saying, all right, fine, we'll give you a star for Ben Simmons and some picks. But I'm more concerned about the star, because it's all about not wasting Joel Embiid's prime. So that's Doc Rivers talking about how the chemistry is working its way up. And it was significantly better on Monday than it was on Sunday. And hopefully it's better on Tuesday today than it was on Monday and all that. But this can't help chemistry. And I, again, am not proud that I'm doing this, but I know people make fun of us in Philadelphia for paying attention to press conferences and paying attention to what coaches say and what players say and watching all that stuff, not just the game, but also the press conferences. Well, we're about to go from the game, which is the most important, to the press conference, which is, below that. And then there's like a pile of crap. And then down here is where a breakdown. It's where a breakdown after a practice ranks. All right. Here's Ben Simmons. You'll see him in the back. So just keep your eyes out for Ben Simmons in the back of this, for those watching. And if you haven't seen it, it's all over the internet. Here's Ben Simmons not participating in the team breakdown. I can't believe I'm showing this. Here it is. Video courtesy of 6ABC. And you see right there Ben Simmons walking out while all his teammates are on the court still yucking it up, having themselves a great time, building chemistry and whatnot. Well, Ben is like, deuces, I'm out of here. I don't know if Ben usually takes part in breakdown. I don't know if that's just not his thing. I don't know. But I'd have to think if everyone's in there, that Ben would be included in that. Look, this could not go any more awkward. It's as awkward as we all thought it was going to go. But today, Tuesday, supposedly, we're going to hear from Ben Simmons. He was questionable. We said it yesterday, whether or not he was going to address the media on Monday. Did not. Then all the reports started coming out about how he was going to address the media and answer some questions on Tuesday, today. So finally, we will get to hear Ben Simmons' side of the story as much as he wants to give. What I really don't want to hear today is, it is what it is. No. There is no, it is what it is, because what this is has never happened before. Not in this capacity, where a guy that's a year into a 5-year deal, he's got 4 years left on his deal, is saying, thanks, but no thanks, I'm out. In the way that he is doing this. This has never happened before, in the way that a man just completely passed up on a game-tying dunk in Game 7 of the playoffs at home because he was afraid of getting fouled and going to the foul line. That is never, this whole scenario has never happened. So when you go, it is what it is, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. So let's hope that we don't get an it is what it is explanation today from Ben Simmons. Also, I think what needs to be asked is a very simple question: is just, what do you got? what is going on? We've heard reports. We've heard from the coach. We've heard from your teammates. One thing I hope doesn't happen is Joel Embiid came out and just confirmed the report that he, Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle wanted to go out to Los Angeles to meet with Ben Simmons. And he said, thanks, but no thanks. I'll save you a trip. If he tries to put that in the media spin category, there will be no show tomorrow because my head would have exploded at that answer. But we'll all be sitting there. We'll all be waiting with great anticipation to see exactly what gets put out there regarding Ben Simmons and how he's going to answer for all the things that have transpired over the offseason. He'll probably get asked about Doc Rivers, what he had to say at the end of last year. He'll probably be asked about Joel Embiid, what he had to say at the end of last year. We have not heard from Ben Simmons since immediately following Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals last year against the Atlanta Hawks. And I'm wildly disappointed in that because I expected at least, usually they have like the interviews at the end of the season, the exit interviews where you at least hear from some of these guys like Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. I mean, you'll hear from the whole team sometimes. Last year, I guess because of COVID, they didn't want to do that. I don't know. But I just can't get over for the life of me how we're gonna leave this. They left last year without really any explanation. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of an explanation today. Before we get to our guests today, we're going to have Hugh Douglas coming up first before we get to Kyle Neubeck. But I wanted to get to this because this is something that's really important here. And we finally have this answer. Lane Johnson is back at the NovaCare complex. And he's back with his teammates, and he posted this message yesterday. I'd like to thank everyone for their understanding and support over the last 2 weeks. I appreciate the positive notes and messages as I've worked hard to restore my personal life. Depression and anxiety are things I've dealt with for a long time, and I've kept hidden from my friends and family. If you're reading this and struggling, please know that you are not alone. I am excited to rejoin my teammates and coaches. I'm grateful for the entire Eagles community and look forward to continuing to play in front of the best fans in the world. Lane Johnson. Whenever you see personal reasons, like I'm someone who's, I feel like this does not, I'm not saying this, that it makes me special or anything like that, because I feel like a lot of people fall in this category. I'm very close with my family. I do anything for my friends. Like I'm in that realm, right? So if I don't feel like explaining something and I can just say it's a personal thing, I don't want to get into it, and somebody doesn't respect that, like who the hell are you? Like, you're just sitting there to wait to pass judgment on whether or not my reason is good enough for you. So when Lane Johnson said a personal matter, hey man, okay, see ya. Hey, you take care of yourself. Whatever you got to do, man. I can't stand the mindset of, well, he makes $1 million, so many millions of dollars. This guy play through anything. Like, I would really, really hate to reach a point of financial success in my life and someone go, because you make that money, you're not human anymore. That's not the society we should have ever lived in, and it's certainly not the society we live in now. So all I have to say is as someone who has gotten along great with Lane Johnson, and Lane Johnson has been great with me throughout my career, and he's been so kind to me in giving me interviews in the locker room and doing fun, stupid stuff that I used to do when I was at NBC, and he's been awesome. And for all that, I just say, welcome back, Lane. And I am sorry that you had to go through what you were going through. I'm sorry that if you have to continue to go through that. I've talked before about Brandon Brooks, his good friend and his teammate, about things that he has gone through with anxiety, and apparently Lane's going through something very similar, or went through something very similar, and is constantly battling that. So all I have to say is welcome back. I'm sorry you have to go through that struggle, and I wish you nothing but the best, man. And I hope you can go out there on Sundays and just kick ass on the football field. Welcome back, Lane. I'm sorry you had to go through what you went through. You have my full support. 100%. You have my full support. So welcome back to the Philadelphia Eagles. If you hadn't seen that yet, I wanted to make sure we address that on today's show. On a lighter note, before we get to Hugh, I just want to show you this photo right here. That's Ben Simmons yesterday at practice. And I know this photo has been circulating the internet as well, with just him staring off into nothing. It's a freeze frame is what it is, of him actually like scanning the practice court while his teammates are actually practicing. He is wearing 76ers gear, so I'll take that as a positive. He's not wearing his penny, though. No. He's not wearing that penny. You know, the penny that the gym teacher washed once every last day of school to get ready for next year. But that's Ben. I just want to do this real quick. How to speak Australian. Baby. Thank you. That was just for me. Sorry. That's what you call a dated joke. Anyway, let me tell you about my good friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, Sixers get things underway tomorrow, so that's fun. Let me tell you about my friend Steven Singer, the other corner of 8th and Walnut. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not trusting Steven Singer like I trust Steven Singer, what are you doing with your jewelry purchases? The man, how do you not trust a guy that says he's in the love business, right? That's what Steven Singer is. He's in the love business. That's what he does for a living. The love business. You come in there, you want to get engaged, ready for love. Diamond engagement rings right there at the ready. So it's not just a clever name. You want to spend a little time looking around all the great inventory? You have a real jewelry expert walk you through everything. This is what Steven does. 40 plus years in Philadelphia in the love business, making sure people get exactly what they want for the person that they love. Whether that's a diamond engagement ring, whether that's a beautiful tennis bracelet, whether that's a beautiful necklace, diamond, earrings. Come on. First gift I ever got my wife from Steven Singer was a nice set of diamond earrings. And guys, she fawned all over it. She absolutely loved it. So much so she stuck around with me for 7 years before we actually got married. That's how great Steven Singer is. But the other corner of 8th and Walnut, go to IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. And do what I do. Trust Steven Singer. Because one of the things Steven likes to do here is make sure that you get taken care of with the perfect price every single day. There's no discounts, no promo codes, nothing like that. Forget about it. You go in there, and you know you're going to get taken care of every single time with the perfect price at Steven Singer Jewelers. Other jewelers, they like to mark things up, way up, just to mark it down in front of you, make it feel like you're getting some kind of deal. It's all based on whether or not you can negotiate, whether or not you can haggle. Not at Steven Singer Jewelers. You get the perfect price every single day. Get treated like family. Get treated like someone special while you're buying something special for that special someone at Steven Singer Jewelers. The other corner of 8th and Walnut, or online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Without further ado, let's jump on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line and talk to our good friend Hugh Lamont Douglas III on our happy Tuesday morning. And joining us for a very happy Tuesday, our good friend Hugh Douglas III. Hugh, what's up, buddy? I missed you.
What's going on, man? Missed you too, man. Been doing a little bit of traveling.
Oh, yeah, I know, and that's why I was like, you let that man have some fun. I know you're visiting family. You were up here for Trey and John Runyon, getting the Eagles Hall of Fame. Just take me through what you've been up to, please.
Man, listen, came up to Philadelphia, snuck into town, and came to see my son. I call it sneaking into town because you never can do everything that you want to do.
Right.
When you have a 3-year-old and you haven't changed diapers in a while, that becomes kind of the priority. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Haven't seen your child, and his mother's looking at me like, hey, yo, big fella. I know you got friends and stuff up here, but hey, this little guy needs your attention. So, I kind of just hung out with him. Enjoyed every minute of it too, by the way. Got a chance to go to the Eagles Hall of Fame induction for Trey Thomas and John Runyon. So that was pretty cool. It was pretty, like everything, the stars kind of aligned for me perfectly. And it allowed me to get up there and see those guys. Didn't get a chance to actually see them, but just to get up there and be in that atmosphere, man. Nothing like being in Philadelphia, man. It's truly a great city. Truly a great.
Yeah, I wish some people would appreciate a little bit more, i.e. Ben Simmons, but we'll get to that. Just when it comes to being back at the link, you talk about that atmosphere. It's not just that atmosphere for a game, because unfortunately the Eagles didn't play particularly well. They lost, and Nick Sirianni get a lot of questions about his play calling. However, this city is so historic, and they pay homage to those that served them so well over the years. And Trey and John were certainly one of those guys, both of those guys. You as well. What was it like to be amongst that atmosphere again?
Oh, man, it was cool. It was cool. Like you said, Philadelphia is like a city like no other. Being in Atlanta, love being here in Atlanta. But when you come up north and you're in that atmosphere and you're in that stadium, and it just hit different, man. It hits different. Because I got there, I would say the game started at 8:30, so I arrived I got there about 5 o'clock, 5-ish. So I got there and I got a chance to see some of the people tailgating and just some of the festivities. Xfinity Live was live, and things of that nature. Just kind of walked around and just was like, wow, I kind of really missed this. Now, Atlanta tailgating is phenomenal. It's great. But nothing is like tailgating in Philadelphia. It's just a different vibe. When I tell you that getting there early and seeing all the people that were there early, and then to see the stadium go from completely empty until like 8:29, and then all of a sudden you could blink, Marc, and then it's just packed. It's just completely packed. I mean, because that's just how it is. Standing room only type situation. It was just great to see. It was really great to see.
That's awesome, man. And of course, you've shared memories about John Runyon and Trey on this show before. What was it like to see them actually go through the process and officially, stamp the paperwork, cross the I's, dot the T's, and all that stuff? You know what I mean? What was it like to watch all that?
It was cool. It was cool because I was texting Trey. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to see him, but I was like, man, you about to cry. I know you're about to cry. Like, no, I'm going to hold it in. He had a great speech. It was short and sweet. A little sorry he didn't mention my name because I am the man that helped mold and shape him. He was just a lump of clay when he got to Philadelphia. I made that man. And he shouting out some coach that he had at Florida State. The nerve of that guy. But no, man, it was just great to see, man. It brought back a lot of memories. It just brought back a lot of memories of those days that we were battling in training camp. And those times where, I saw them battle against other guys and everything. Just to see the highlights of those two guys play, man. We had a great team. When you look at the talent that we had across the board on that squad that we had here in Philadelphia, we had some great players, man. We really did.
No doubt. Let me ask you this, because, you would be in luck with this team because they value defensive line. They value line play. Who would be out of luck? Jeremiah Trotter. Because they don't care about linebackers. Why don't they care about linebackers anymore there, Hugh?
I'll say this about my teammate Trot. He's a dinosaur. Last of a like he's a dinosaur. And what I mean by that is, and I mean that with affection and respect, because Trot, we used to call him the center killer. Trot enjoyed Trot took great pride in inflicting punishment on guards and centers, like he really did, and just making big plays and swinging that axe, and just being physical. There's only a few linebackers that I can think of that play that way. Ray Lewis comes to mind. London Fletcher is another guy. The evolution of linebackers has changed. They look like safeties now.
Right.
They look like safety. They're smaller. They're built to run the sideline to sideline because the game has changed. Offensively, the game has changed. It's more of a passing game. You talk about personnel on the field. When you talk about like passing personnel, like 11 personnel or something like that, three receivers, 2 tight, whatever, those kind of sets. We used to call that used to be nickel downs. Nickel downs were special downs in the NFL. Now nickel downs is damn near every down in the NFL. It's just become more of a passing game. So with that being said, you have to have a lot more speed on the field. And with that, you're compensating, you're giving up something. So now you're giving up the size and the physicality of the linebackers in order to run and be able to run with these tight ends. Tight ends have changed the game so much, Mark, when you think about it and what they're able to do. You can't have those big lumbering linebackers anymore. You got to have those smaller physical guys. And so when you have those guys, you tend to get gassed on the run like Leonard Fournette did the other night. I think he had like 80-some yards.
Yeah.
22 carries. It's a lot of carries. When you talk about primarily a passing league.
Sure, absolutely. I will say I noticed one too many times Alex Singleton, Davion Taylor, those guys bouncing Marcus Epps bouncing off of him as he was running between the tackles. But you're right. It's definitely not the same anymore, and I get that. I just would like one linebacker that you can always rely on to step up in a gap and fill a hole. Like, that's what I'm looking for.
Hey, well, good luck with that. Like, when you think about it, as NFL as a whole, you don't really have those guys like that anymore.
Yeah.
They're not there. Like, you got to have that stout line play because you don't have that second line of defense like you once had when you had those big linebackers. Like I said, playing with Trot, man, listen, that center was terrified because if he came in that hole mugging like he was coming, you best believe that center had to bow his neck. Because if Trot hit you, boy, you felt that. You felt that. So much easier for everybody else to do what they do. You talk about playing defensive end and not really have to worry about a double team because you got Hollis on one side, Corey Simon on the other, and then you got Trot right there in the middle. Yeah, that was tough. That was a tough spot to be in for any center.
So you were at the game then. You're at the stadium. You're watching the game. What'd you make of your first in-person impressions of Nick Sirianni and his offense?
It's funny. I don't watch the game that way. I don't watch it looking at the plays and everything. But I did watch Seth Joyner on television. And listen, Seth was Seth brought that fire and brimstone. And he was talking about, like, Seth's a linebacker, so he watches the game from a linebacker's perspective. And when he started talking about some of the pedestrian plays that they were running, and then I started to recall some of the plays that I saw, it lined up with exactly what he was saying. And I was like, But I will say this. I think that comes from having growing pains with your young quarterback and trying to learn him on the fly and learn what plays are working. But I tell you what, and I've said this before, Mark, a young quarterback's best friend is a running game. I mean, it is. I mean, that's just like when you talk about the success of young quarterbacks, you talk about Lamar Jackson when he had Mark Ingram, when they were back, big trust, and they were running the ball and allowed him to get comfortable. That's how you let that's how you let young quarterbacks get comfortable. You give them a running game. You give them something to lean on instead of throwing them out there and asking them to run around and make plays and improvise all the time. You give them a solid running game, so when everything else is not working for them, you just hand it off to the running back. You hand it off to the running back. Let him do all the heavy lifting. Miles Sanders has earned that right, in my opinion.
I agree. I would love to say what I have said for the longest time now is I want Miles Sanders to get the opportunity to put up numbers like some of the better backs around the NFL do. And I just don't see that happening. Now, on a defensive perspective from that, I know Andy Reid would abandon the run. He would not ignore the run like Nick Sirianni, but he'd abandon the run. What was it like as a defense when the offense wasn't clicking? And you get off the field, next thing you know, all right, get back out there. You stay on the field for another like 5-10 minutes, and then you go off for like 3, and then you're right back on the field. What's that like as far as the wear and tear on the defense?
It's frustrating, but you don't point fingers, or you shouldn't point fingers, because there are going to be those times when offense is rolling and the defense isn't pulling their weight.
Right.
You don't want those guys looking at you sideways like, dude, what the deuce? What are you doing? You don't want them to do like that. So, professional courtesy, you just let them work through it, man. You just let them work through it. It's frustrating, no doubt, and guys are feeling that, and, it's intense, but you got to work through it. I remember when I first got to Philadelphia, it was kind of like that. We didn't have any offense. Bobby Hoying, we were going between Bobby Hoying and Rodney Peede and all of that. And I remember sitting in meetings, and Emmett Thomas would say, hey, man, we know offense is struggling. We might play 45-minute game. We might play most of the game. Wow. And he would say that. And he's like, just be prepared for it. And we would look at each other, and we would say, forget it. We wouldn't say what we would say.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we just like, hey, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And that's how you played. That's what you did until they got it going. You sucked it up. If you were out there for 45 minutes of a 60-minute game, hey, you better get your cardio in. You better suck it up because, hey, we're going to be out there. So that's just what it is, man.
Gotcha.
That's what they call a part of the job.
All right. Fair enough. The other thing I wanted to get into here, so I don't know if you saw or not, the reason Lane Johnson had been missing time. He cited in a statement depression and anxiety. And I want to make this clear. Anybody that's got mental health issues and you're struggling through that, you have my 1,000% support. I'm not saying, but you're making this, so you're not supposed to be human. I'm not doing that. And I know you and I have had this conversation about people being a lot more understanding of what's going on with somebody's own mental health. We went through it a lot with Brandon Brooks. People were great with that. He acknowledged his own misfortunes and having to deal with something like that. Mm-hmm. Lane Johnson's now acknowledging the same type of thing. What do you think he comes back to in the locker room? And also, could you ever imagine a player admitting to this in your day?
I couldn't imagine it, Mark, but things have changed. Now, this is something that would probably not readily be admitted in my day and age because, the whole machismo thing and all the other stuff. You don't want to be known as a punk, for a lack of a better way of saying it. But I applaud him for that, man, because I think in order to get past that stigma of it's not cool to have mental issues or talk about it, you have to talk about it. And I applaud him for that. And I think that what's going to happen in the locker room, guys are going to look at him and they're going to embrace him. And it's probably going to open up an opportunity for other guys to sit there and say something about it. Man, listen, mental health is real. And no amount of money that you make can combat those symptoms. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to probably look at me and see this and be like, oh, well, you make millions of dollars. You shouldn't have those problems. BS. I call BS on all of that because, like that old Diddy song, more money, more problems. Things like that. I mean, it's the truth, man. And I applaud more athletes that are starting to get in touch with that side because in the long run, I think they benefit from it tremendously. Because you talk about the suicide rate and athletes and guys dealing with depression and guys talking about, thinking about committing suicide, guys that suicide has touched them and impacted them in their families. I think it's a great thing that guys are starting to get in touch with that side, man, because it just makes it a little bit easier to cope with everything in the long run.
Hear, hear, brother. Hear, hear. I will tell you, I'm getting a little bit more worried about Nick Sirianni, to go back to that for a second here. I'm starting to think that first impression we had of the press conference is more of who the guy is as a head coach and play caller. And I am getting more and more the feeling that Howie and Jeffrey Lurie are dictating a lot of what they want to see happen on the football field, not just in personnel, but in terms of game plan and in play calling. Have you heard anything about that?
You know what's funny, man? Only thing I've been hearing, and you know how, like, you hear stuff in passing and you take it with a grain of salt. You absorb some of it, but you take it all with a grain of salt because you're just kind of, you know how we're sifting through papers and you're looking at different stories and you're trying to read a little bit about this and that. I'm reading that the Deshaun Watson situation is still in play. I'm reading that there is some talk about that, but the only thing that's holding him back is you don't know what's going to happen with him as far as his personal situation, as far as the punishment, anything like that is concerned.
Yeah.
I go back to when Nick Sirianni first got here, Coach Sirianni, and there was some speculation of whether or not he wanted Jalen Hurts at all. And the speculation or the factual matter that they took a long time to name him the starter. So it's safe to say that there's probably a little bit of a rift there. It's probably safe to say that they're probably looking at him right now thinking that he's not the guy. You know, I mean, that's just, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. So I would not be surprised if he's one and done as an Eagle starter at quarterback. I would not be surprised at that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised either. But if not for him, then just for what he's up against with potentially 3 first-round picks coming up here and doing whatever you can, doing whatever you want to possibly bring somebody else in.
I mean,
last thing. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mark, but this is bottom line business. And as much potential as Jalen Hurts has shown, you know, listen, they talked about moving on from Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. You know, like, to be honest, and I know there are different circumstances that dictate the situation that these young quarterbacks are in, but right now, it looks like Mac Jones is the better quarterback of this quarterbacking class right now. And that might be the situation that he's put in, you know, less pressure and everything being in New England. But when you look at some of the things that he's done so far this season, in this young season, you look at him and you're like, hey, he might be okay. Out of all the quarterbacks that I've seen play, he looks like the one that might be the class of the 2021 class.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, I wholeheartedly agree with that. Want to switch gears, want to get your thoughts just on this real quick. So Ben Simmons is back in practice with the team, sort of practicing, participating in some drills here and there. Apparently did not put his hand in for breakdown, nor did he really stand with his team at breakdown, more in the background.
He don't like him. He felt like, you want me to interpret what's going on?
Yeah, what's happening?
I really don't fool with y'all, but this $300-some-odd-thousand y'all finding me every day, I need that. And y'all have made it clear that y'all ain't about to let me go. But I don't fool with none of y'all. And so, you know, I'm going to be here begrudgingly. I'm going to get this bread, but don't ask me to sit with you at the dinner table. And don't text my phone. That's basically what he's saying. I don't know how that's going to work, though.
That's not well.
I don't know. I can envision, and I'm not condoning this in any way, shape, or form. I'm not condoning violence. But I can see one of Ben Simmons' teammates punching him in the face before the season started. And the season started wasn't a couple days.
Hey, he'd have his injury, so he wouldn't have to play.
Okay, let me pull that back. I can see when his teammates punching him in a couple of weeks. I can see that. I can see because somebody's just going to get tired of it.
Oh, man.
Like, listen, and this is another thing. I understand that he's probably dealing with a lot. We talked about mental issues with him as well as that.
Right.
So, man, I would ask Ben, like, what did your teammates do to you? Your teammates didn't make you not take those shots. Everything that you're doing, like, on the outside looking in, is self-inflicted. You did that to yourself. You were the one that chose not to shoot. You were the one that brought all of this negativity upon yourself. Now, if you're dealing with something, let's talk about it. But don't be mad. What you mad at me for, bruh? What you mad at me for? I ain't did nothing to you.
You speak nothing but the truth there, Hugh Lamont Douglas III.
Why you mad, son?
Hugh, I miss you so damn much. Thank you so much, brother.
Not a problem, man. Anytime.
Happy Hugh's Day to the great Hugh Lamont Douglas III.
Holla.
You see, Jim, I use this bag called the Modern Gentleman, okay? And what it does is, I was trying to explain during the interview there to Jim, it's a duffel bag, but it's a duffel bag that, a duffel bag comes like this, right? It's all rolled up like a duffel bag, right? But this has zippers on the side, so you can unzip the duffel bag. It lays flat. You put your suit, John, in there, and then you roll it back up, and then you zip it up on the sides. Bada boom, bada bing. You got yourself a nice little weekend travel bag, just like that. The modern gentleman. And the modern is spelled with the British thing, with the letters not in the right spot at the end. But you know what I'm saying. My thanks to Hugh Douglas III joining us there on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. Just our first of 2 guests today. We're going to get to Kyle Neubeck in just a minute here when we talk about all things 76ers. And this guy, Ben Simmons, ladies and gentlemen, public enemy number 1. Should we play Ben Simmons bingo today? I think we should. Like, what are some of the things that would be on there? Let's see. Make a note here. Just here so I don't get fined. It is what it is. What else would be on there? Let's see here. Yeah, you know what? I think my feelings have been made public. It's already out there. It's already out there. What else here? I just don't see this as a fit anymore. Or maybe he plays the nice guy role. Maybe he's like, as long as I'm here, I'm going to do what I can to help this team win. Maybe that'll happen. Then we can all look at it and be like, bingo. Maybe that's what we'll do a little bit later. Kyle Neubeck will join us in just a second here from Philly Voice, phillyvoice.com. But let me tell you about how the awesome people of Rothman Orthopaedics find sponsor of this program. When you have orthopedic issues, you need a physician who eats, sleeps, and breathes orthopedics. How about Rothman Orthopaedics? You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopaedics physician. They not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians focuses in on one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Visit them in one of their 30-plus locations in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, including 4 orthopedic-only urgent cares. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. How about our friends at BetQL? Betting's big, babe. We all know that, right? Make the smart bet with BetQL. Do some research. Do some homework before you just place a bet, throw your money around. Make sure you get the edge over your sportsbook with BetQL, the only app you'll need to make the smart bets. Their Best Bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports. And they give you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. I was going to make a bet on the game last night. Monday Night Football game. You had the Titans, you had the Bills. Looked at BetQL and I said, you hold off on that bet there, Mr. Smarty Pants. You don't know more than BetQL. Their model covers everything from point spreads, over-unders, and player props as well. Don't want to use the model and prefer to do your own research? BetQL has all the necessary tools for your betting research needs. Everything from sharp data, line movement, team summaries, lineups, injuries, breaking news, and they even have a leaderboard so you can track your own success. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download the BetQL app. Steak in Maine. Oh, man. Dreaming about it. Just dreaming about it. I've been heavy on the carbs lately, so it makes me just crave a 2-pound tomahawk steak. Nice side of roasted potatoes. Okay, there's the starch, but whatever. It is fantastic. Steak in Maine voted #1 place for steaks in America by the Travel Channel and the Cooking Channel. So make sure you check them out at steakandmaine.com in the heart of Northeast Maryland. It is amazing. My man Tony Cavada hooks it up down there. Fine steaks, freshly prepared sushi, fresh seafood as well. He's got it all. Great sports bar to hang out, just watch a game, enjoy a beer, enjoy a drink. Great steakhouse to have a great steak, outdoor patio, during the nice summer months, even a nice little fall month where your lady's craving the pumpkin spice latte, whatever it might be. Guess what? Head over to Steak in Maine for a nice dinner right there. Boom. Just like that. Head out on the patio. Enjoy a fall day as well. I love Steak in Maine because I love the way this guy, Tony Cavada, prepares his food. It's just nothing short of spectacular. And if you have a big party, they have that great table in the back. You feel special. It's a rotating table. Share apps. Share entrees if you're like that. Me, I'm not like that. I don't share anything. My food's my food. The only person that can even have a bite of anything is my wife, and she gets one bite. That's it. No. There's no, oh, but you really you have those fries. Those are good. Yeah, you can have a couple of fries. All right, I'm not the devil over here. All right, I'm not an unreasonable man. But when it comes to everything else at Steak and Maine, it's mine on my plate. But if you do like sharing, they got the sharing table in the back, so you can have yourself a good time with that. So check out Steak and Maine, steakandmaine.com for more information. It is just fantastic. How about our good friends at Windview? If you not having a great run so far in fantasy football, maybe you could get involved in some win view challenges, ladies and gentlemen, because it's the only place where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all. Who's the biggest sports fan? If you have those friends and family who think they know everything, you can play them in a win view contest and have them walk the walk. See if they can do that as well as they can talk the talk. If you want to break up the monotony of family dinners and get-togethers, you can play some win view, challenge somebody, make some predictions of your own for a win view contest, and have yourself a great time. Whether it's through a quarter of Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, whatever it might be. Baseball playoffs as well. Man, those Red Sox look hot. While you're tracking the games on Sunday, you can also make sure that you're playing for keeps with WinView. So download the WinView app right now and have yourself a good time. How about PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media. Make sure you're following all with Ben Simmons, with the Eagles, with everything, with PHLSportsNation.com. All right, this is the point of the show. We usually get to our comments. I want to save those comments for a little bit later in the program because I want you guys to hear from Kyle Neubeck. Kyle put out a tweet yesterday, and we're going to play basically how would Ben handle it with the way some of these people responded to a tweet later on. But without further ado, let's jump back on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line and get to our good friend Kyle Neubeck of Philly Voice. And joining us now on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line from PhillyVoice.com, our good friend Kyle Neubeck joins the show. What's going on there, Kyle? How are you?
Hanging in, my friend, just in day, I don't even know what, of the Ben Simmons saga, and we're just, continue to be surprised by each new development every day.
Yeah, now here's the scuttlebutt. All right, before we get to everything else, let's talk to the main story here. The main point here, the headline: was Ben Simmons practicing with a cell phone in his pocket, or was it a T-shirt? Was it a practice jersey? What was it, Kyle Neubeck?
Listen, I've received no confirmation of what was in his pocket. I sent a tweet out that I thought was tongue-in-cheek earlier about it, that was, poking fun at how every single news development in this story is headline news. It was not received as tongue-in-cheek. It was more, hey, you're reporting this. What the hell are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. All that. So, I apologize for getting caught up in all that. But, just one of many questions that we'll be able to ask Ben Simmons once we finally are able to talk to him.
All right. Now, there was a question as to whether or not he was going to speak on Monday or he's going to speak at the time. The day we air this is Tuesday. So do you think you will get an opportunity to speak to Ben Simmons today?
I think so. I hope so. But there is an element of, I thought I was going to talk to him Sunday at his first practice. I thought I was going to talk to him Monday at his second practice. And now, if he doesn't talk on Tuesday's practice, well, then they're on the road. They go to New Orleans, and it just stretches off into infinity at some point.
Right.
I look, like, Ben has some level of control over this. I don't know if it's all of it. Like, certainly team PR would probably rather be done with this sooner than later, because once you rip the Band-Aid off, that's just it. Like, he's talked for the first time, and the offseason stuff fades into the background somewhat as long as he's relatively engaged and on the floor. But, I think some of it, the subtext is, we don't know when he is going to take the floor. And so that's sort of this $1 million question hanging over everything right now. I genuinely don't know. And I don't know if anybody, or everybody, I should say, with the team knows when he's finally going to make his return to the floor in a Sixers uniform.
I know journalism, being a writer, is not the same as being a lawyer. And lawyers always ask questions that they're supposed to know the answers to before they're even asked, right? Or before the person even answers them. What's your idea going into this? When you ask him a question about, hey, how's it going, basically, with your teammates? What can you confirm or deny for us over the summer? What are you expecting from Ben Simmons whenever it is we do hear from him?
I got to say, it's a real wild card right now. Like, I would say, so to your point, I think that the first question that has to be asked is, hey, Ben, everybody has been speaking for you this summer, whether that's his agent, whether that's, the Sixers give their side of the story, media members are talking to members of his camp, and so on and so forth. And they relay it's whisper down the lane at some point, basically. I just want to hear from Ben's mouth, like, okay, what are you going to say on the record is true? What are you going to say is not true? And then we go from there. I think after that, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to put some of this on the media. I think, we're a good punching bag. I'm sure there's some stuff that came out this summer that is not 100% correct. It might be leaning toward the truth, but there's always versions of the truth when you're dealing with situations like this. And I think at some point he's going to have to be honest about the fact that, look, like, I don't feel like this is the best place for me anymore. It doesn't even matter at this point, really, what the reasoning is. I think it's been made so clear at this point through all the reporting, through all of the discussion, et cetera, et cetera. I just think him and his people don't want him here. And that's all that matters. Like, we'll get into the details, and I'm fascinated to hear from him, but that's the big headline is still, Ben Simmons does not want to be in Philadelphia anymore.
Sure. And I think that's a great point. I'm rooting for, I mean, look, this might be too particular, but I'm rooting for this not to be an in-practice session. I'm rooting for this to be a full-on press conference. I want a podium. I want a table. I don't want basketballs dribbling in the background. I want this to be as formal as possible. Do you think we'll get that tomorrow or Tuesday?
I doubt it. I would think just because of, the circumstances being what they are, I think they'll probably do it like they have done at practice. Now, granted, our practice avails are actually superior to how they used to be because of the COVID times. They have some, I don't know if they're velvet ropes, but they have some ropes set up around a table with microphones and such. And the player, like, we can all put our recorders down on the table. So, like, you've probably been in some scrums, Mark.
Sure.
You're not like craning in with your recorder and I get like shoulder cramps holding it there for, 10, 15 minutes, however long we're there. That's been a big life upgrade. But I do suspect you'll hear some basketballs bouncing in the background whenever we do get to talk to Ben.
I will say I don't miss the old cameraman elbow in the back of the head. Like, oh, were you there? Sorry. Yeah, you knew I was in. Anyway, I am very intrigued, and I think that's the perfect way to set it up. Now it's our turn to hear from you. What can you confirm? What can you deny? Did the team come out there to try to meet up with you? Joel Embiid said that. It's been reported as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing from him. But one of the things that I just can't wrap my head around is the argument that he can't play with Joel Embiid, which is something I've always been against. Did they have issues? Sure. But when you're like 144 and 60 when you're playing together, like, how do you even make that argument?
I've said this all offseason. Like, I think if you lined up every big man in the league and you said, okay, who are the best guys for Ben to play with? Joel might not be at the very top just because he likes to set up on the low block and post up. And that's an area of the court that Ben could certainly use to his advantage. If you're talking about two-way basketball, though, maybe there's one or two guys that would be better. Like Anthony Davis, I think, is a cleaner offensive fit while offering a lot of the defensive upside. Other than that, you're making trade-offs. Like Nikola Jokic is a great offensive fit with Ben Simmons, not the same kind of defender that Joel Embiid is. Rudy Gobert, taking up a lot of space in the paint, but is a great defender on the other end. So, like, there's trade-offs being made. Joel Embiid can shoot threes, can step out, and he's a defensive player of the year, all defense caliber player on the other end. So, like, I just don't buy that argument. I understand if they just think, like, if Ben and his people think, hey, we want the offensive guy. Like, we think Ben can do a lot of the defensive work and, prop up a team in that way, and he needs people who can help him on the other end. Fine. But to say, like, oh, this partnership has run its course or it doesn't work or whatever it is, like, I don't buy that at all. And I think there's going to be some reality to face whenever or if and when Ben gets traded that, Joel is doing a lot for him on both ends of the floor. And Joel will feel the same way. Like Joel has said many times, we don't have as good a chance to win if we don't have Ben here. Like, it is a partnership for all its limitations, for the second round exits. They have won, as you point out, a ton of games together. And it's hard to find partnerships that work in the NBA. That's the reality of professional basketball.
Do you think Ben has played his last game with the Sixers, or do you think now that he's back, he's going to play?
I think because he's back, I suspect he'll play at some point. Now, I don't know when that is. I don't know how much. Like, maybe he plays a game or a few games and they shut it down due to some, I don't want to call it a phantom injury because he very well could get hurt, but some sort of health thing where they're trying to protect him. They don't, like, whether it's the Sixers with trade value, whether it's Rich Paul and them saying, look, he's here in good faith. He doesn't want to be here, but he's not going to help you guys win. Then maybe they come to an agreement, whatever it is. I do think he will take the floor, though. I don't think, if I had to guess right now, I don't think it's going to be this week, especially because as you can imagine, I don't think there could be a worse environment for him to step into than Friday night against Brooklyn, national TV game, all eyes on him. And like the whole city is going to be fired up for that game. That's the title favorites come to town for the home opener. That is not when Ben Simmons wants to make his home debut. Like, it's not when I would want to make my home debut if I was him. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Unless he really liked being heel, turning heel. What was the move? Like, I'm not sure about when it comes to COVID protocols and all that stuff with practices and reporters and the media. You just described it when it came to the press sessions, the media sessions. But can you describe what the mood was like at the Sixers practice facility, what the team was like around him? Can you give us any details there?
So it was weird at practice Monday. Sunday, we didn't see anything. That was his first practice back, and he was already gone. The practice was essentially over when they let us in. Monday was interesting where he blended into some defensive drills, and then when he was not on the floor, he was very clearly like off to the side by himself, not really talking to anybody. I believe there's some video that circulated on Twitter where you saw him just kind of stone-faced. Yeah. I did say when I wrote today, I don't want to read too much into that. It's easy to do that, but Ben has always been JJ Redick used to call him the man who sits behind the glass, where he's just this emotionless, like studying everybody and everything from his position away from everybody else. So I don't want to look too far into it. And that's where that cell phone stuff came from. Everybody's looking for, the smoking gun to prove, oh, Ben Simmons is not into this. The rest of his teammates, though, have all been in good spirits. They've said the right things, like, hey, we're all professionals here. He's back now. We just expect him when we're between the lines. We're all trying to win. And if we get that out of him, we don't care what was said. We don't care what else happens. That's all that matters. So they're trying their best to embrace him back. Whether he, grabs that hand and shakes it is another story.
Speaking of which, does he normally not take part in the breakdown? Does he normally not put his hand in, 1, 2, 3 Sixers or whatever? Does it not usually do that?
I mean, I don't really study those things.
I know, right?
I don't look at the Zapruder film of the post-game huddles and such, but to my knowledge, I don't remember him actively avoiding them in the past. So, you can analyze that however you like.
Wow, a couple of guys under 40 with Zapruder reference. That's that's good, man. That shows it's never going away. That's how
you know it was a lasting event, right?
Right. Exactly. But before I get to this last thing I want to get to here, do you think, like, when you look back on the Doc Rivers thing, it's been a really interesting thing because Doc has said, I didn't say what you think I said, but he did say what we said. We just interpreted it wrong.
Don't even get me started on that.
Exactly. Like, this is all damage control, right?
It's all on the tape. They caught you in 4K. Like, what do you want from me? I get it. He's doing damage control, and he's saying that to Ben. Like, that's a one-person audience that message is meant for. But you could do that and not just like say to my face, like, yeah, but I didn't say that. Like, I listened to you say it. I've watched it like 50 times. Everybody did. Anyway, sorry, I wasn't trying to derail you here.
No, you did it. That's the greatest answer you could have given me. Like, come on, what are you kidding me? That's great. Now, you did, through your journalistic integrity here, you took to Twitter, and I hope you don't mind us having some fun with this. But
of course,
you said at the risk of turning my mentions into even more of a tire fire. Great reference, by the way. Love that. I'm curious, what questions do you want asked of Ben Simmons if he does indeed speak tomorrow, meaning today, Tuesday? So if you don't mind, Kyle Neubeck of Philly Voice, I went ahead, took the liberty of taking some of the excerpts, some of the comments people did respond.
I'm a little worried already.
Now, I don't know how we should play this. Should like we both try to be Ben, or do you just want to be Ben? And do you want to take the questions, or
right,
will you
I'll
just
try? Okay, we'll see. I'll pretend.
And just at the end, just tell me in or out. In, you're going to ask it, or out, we can't ask it. All right.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Here's the first one here. I think this one makes the most sense given what was reported. Kyle M. Was that a phone in your pocket, or were you just happy to be back at practice? What do you think, Kyle?
Well, that's definitely not being. I would say he will probably be asked what was in his pocket at practice. The happy to see you part, that is definitely not making it in there. I'll tell you that.
Ben would do himself a favor if he said, "What? I was just happy to see you." He would do himself a favor. Anyway, all right. What else do we have here? This is one of my favorite ones that was actually put out there. This is from Mike. Thoughts on Kourtney Kardashian's engagement to Travis Barker? Is it Barker or Baker?
Barker. That's
Barker.
the Blink-182 guy, man. Come on. That's what. Come on.
God, I've been listening to Frank Sinatra since I was like 8 years old. You think I know anything
He's
about
the
Blink?
drummer in Blink-182. Get out of here, man. Come on.
I deserve all that criticism. You just know he keeps up. I don't know why that's all in quotations. Why he keeps keep up with the Kardashians. On that stuff in case Kendall ever came crawling back. Will you ask about the Kardashian lady?
I will not. I don't. So I've had a rule since Ben came into the league. This is not just Ben. I don't ask them about their extra personal lives. But
Sure.
The most I will do is, hey, congrats on the engagement, or congrats, your wedding looked beautiful. If there's pictures, videos that circulate, whatever. But that to me, unless it is something that it somehow bleeds into the game, that's their business. So that's fine. I will say, I don't think Ben is thinking too much about Miss Jenner these days, because I don't know if you've kept track, but he is with someone that he seems very happy with. So good for him, regardless of all the basketball stuff.
It's that TV host, that British TV host.
I don't want to mispronounce her name, but Maya
Jama.
I
Whatever.
don't know her.
Very talented.
But, wish them both all the happiness in the world, regardless of the professionalism, sports stuff. That's a whole separate bag of worms. So
good on you. Good on you for that.
Him.
Let's see this one here. This is a good one as well. This is from Pat. Ask him what's more broken, his jump shot or his relationship with the Sixers. Come on, that has to be it. Kyle, are you a journalist?
Listen, we could definitely ask, what are your relationships like with just the organization as a whole and individual guys, especially Joel Embiid after the offseason that we just had. In terms of comparing it to his jump shot and all that, that's I think what people on Twitter don't understand is I have to actually deal with these guys every single day. Right. It's not like I'm not how's his name? Andrew Dice Clay just out there insulting people. That doesn't benefit me whatsoever. I can ask people tough questions, but when you go to, hey, what about that jump shot, boss? Like, boom! Like, that doesn't work. That's not how it goes.
Hold on. I need Kyle Dice Neubeck. I need that at some point.
Listen, not an especially big fan of his, but that just that's what it comes off as. You read some of these questions that people send in, and it just, man, you guys think that you can be a lot nastier to these people than. And some of them just know it's Twitter. So
yeah, of course.
No, it's not going to get us. So.
Hey, Ben, Little Miss Muffet sat on it. All right, anyway, that's not going to. All right, last one for you here. And I think this is a great one. Oh, I'm sorry. I got two more. This one right here. What do you think about Squid Game?
That's I don't think we'll have time for that one tomorrow. That might be more of a, I feel like that's not a press conference question. That's more of a, hey, locker room pregame. I've had some good chats with Ben about, different battle royale video games and, things he's interested in that are not basketball. Okay. So maybe Squid Game would be that might be like a, hey, Ben, mend the relationship a little bit. I've been, quite critical this off season. Let's talk about Squid Game and how easily you would push me off the ledge and kill me if you were about to win the game.
All right. Last one. I like this one because it's like a strict father. This one comes from Andrew. Why did you come back and what are your intentions?
I would say that is the most likely of these questions by far that'll get asked.
That's it.
I think it is 100% worth asking Ben, why are you here now if you were not here to start camp? I have reported reasons that I think Ben this year, many of them financial, some of them just, I think he got the picture that nothing was going to happen. And if nothing's going to happen anyway, you might as well get paid and nothing happens rather than losing money and nothing happens. So, but you want to hear it from Ben himself. So I think that is definitely worth asking. Certainly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Dice Neubeck from Philly Boys.
No.
It's not going to stick. Don't worry. I'll only refer to it at least once every time. Anyway,
that's a shame.
Kyle, on a personal note, just from the show to you, you got engaged, over the summer?
Yes, late August 29th, got engaged. I went over to Spain, and the very first day we were there, out of 10 days, the ring was burning a hole in my pocket. So we got the job done and got to celebrate the rest of the time we were there. And
beautiful.
And now she's, well, not quite. We have to actually, formally seal it and all that. But now she's stuck with me and the bad Dice Clay impressions for the rest of the time.
I need a front row seat for a Dice Clay impression sometime, my
boy.
friend. Kyle Neubeck, Philly Voice. If you're not following him on Twitter, if you're not reading him on Philly Voice, talking all things Sixers, writing about all things Sixers, I'm just going to let you know you're missing out. That's my man, Kyle Neubeck. Thanks so much, brother. Really appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you, man.
The great Kyle Neubeck joining us on the Farzy Show on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. Always love talking to our friend Kyle Neubeck, and congrats to him again on getting engaged. Hey, the Dice Man. Let me just tell you this: when I shut off, when I hit end record on the interview last night, he just goes, "Man, please don't refer to me as the Dice Man." Which, of course, if you guys know me, it's all I want to refer to him as now. But while we were doing this, I do want to get this here going. Here is Bingo, and I just started this. All right, it's just the Ben Simmons bingo card for those that didn't put it together. As you can tell, I was an art major in college because I'm just perfectly executed this in Microsoft Paints. Bingo. So we'll just play this at home while the interview is going on. All right, that's what we'll do. Here you go. Bingo. It is what it is. I never said that. So I don't get fined. I love these guys. Hey, what do you think of your teammates and all this stuff? Oh, I love these guys. So Ben, the media, this was said, it's the media's fault. I feel disrespected. I love the fans. It's been great. Fans can do whatever they want. He's going to get asked about it, booed or whatever. I haven't thought about that. The dismissive thing, but I'm guaranteeing you, it is what it is. Will come out today, and my head will explode. By the way, for the kids that are watching this show, the Zapruder film is a reference to JFK, John F. Kennedy, who is the president of the United States, who was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. And there was a guy named Zapruder. I think his name was Hank Zapruder. I don't know what his name was, but it's Zapruder. And he filmed the very famous shot. I shouldn't say that. He got the very famous footage of the president being assassinated, and they call whenever they dissect a video the Zapruder film. So that's where that is. For those that don't know, there's your history lesson today, kids. And there's my history lesson as well. Barker, the guy from Blink-182. That wasn't my scene. I wasn't doing the mosh pitting in the 90s with my friends. Anyway, so thanks to Kyle Neubeck for jumping on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. I do want to get you guys our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine and steakandmaine.com. April, you're all over that. Thank you. All right, let's get to the top of this here. April says good morning. Good morning, April. Kevin, what's up, Kevin? Good morning to you and everybody else. April, damn straight, no vacation shaming. Was off last week. It was great. No vacay shame. No vacay shaming. I will not stand for it on this program. Alex says, DeFars. What's up, Alex? April says, can't be done. AI's necessary practice rant can't be outdone. I agree with you. Ben Simmons talks to the media today. What's up, Dan? Should be interesting. I absolutely agree. It's T-Bro, 10, 9, 8. Ben Simmons is here, 76ers. Let me try it again. It's T-Bro. 10, 9, 8. Ben Simmons is here, 76ers. Physically, not mentally. True. Twofer, T-Bro. Doc looking swole. Was Doc looking swole? Alora. Where is this?
It'll grow. It'll come back. I'm not that.
Oh, yeah. Maybe is he looking yoked? Sure. Mally. What's up, Mally? Sean, you can have all the money in the world and not be happy. Mental health needs to be taken as seriously as your physical health. Definitely supportive of Lane Johnson. Here, Sean. Way to be. Can we cure baldness once and for all? Here's the thing. I love being bald. I really do. It's awesome. Like, I got to shave my head a couple times a week. It's fine. Better than combing my hair every day. I had like the calyx, you know what I mean? When I had hair, the crazy stuff going on in the back of the head. I use the gel, right? I was one of those kids. LA looks. There we go. This will get the girls liking me. Anyway, all right. April, troll alert. Not being worried about ball. Being worried about being bald is the disease. Dan, well played. Welcome back. Rob, what's happening? Excuse me. Brett's checking in. Crybaby Trey. Trey is a wildly emotional man. I've told you guys this. I love that guy. When we were at the Fanatic and we did FanFest, we were up doing a Q&A with the crowd in the middle of Xfinity Live. And I remember, like, every question was for Trey. People wanted to tell him how much they loved him, how much they appreciated his career and all that. And, man, Trey was crying. And then I look on my phone, Allen Iverson's on stage, and Allen Iverson's crying because he says, y'all love too hard. Oh, my God. Tearjerker. Let's see here. Crybaby, kidding. Clay Aikens Thomas. Brett, that's hilarious. Not sure. Not sure. He's a little sensitive. Was wondering if it was Ben. What else do we have? Sean, Mally. Exactly. What's Mally saying? Dan, you're saying Father Judge's offense is more complex? Go Archbishop Wood Vikings. That's all I'll say to that. Is Marc really telling us his right age? How don't you know TB from Blink 182? I don't even listen to them, but I know what. This is why. All right. Are we seeing this? Are we getting this? Are you getting this at home, folks? Yeah? That's why. This is who I listened to when I was 16. This is who I listen to now. I literally just put a new playlist together on iTunes while I was building that bench for my daughter I told you guys about. I was listening to that. This is what I was listening to. While I was making that, I was listening to this guy. The hell with it. Anyway. All right. So, anyway, that's why I don't know. That's who my friend said to tell. Farzy, you looking good. Well, thank you, Dante. Much appreciated. Marc, saw your tweet on Zach Ertz. I may cry. Zach is pretty awesome. Oh, the Tank Sinatra meme account, Evan, is fantastic as well. April heard me right away on the Zapruder thing. Sir, not a famous shot. Thank you. Fans are passionate. Definitely adding that one to the list. Let's see. I'll do that right now. Fans are passionate. And that's spelled wrong. We'll go to it later. Very good. Really feel bad for Max. He worked his ass off for those minutes. I don't know if he was going to start, but hopefully he gets the playing time. Dan could not agree more. Once again, Sean, good morning. Dan, good morning. April, good morning. Thank you. Dak, what's happening? Brett, what's popping? I'm just going to call you Mr. Cream. That's what I'm going to call you because I don't know where to go with that. Appreciate everyone checking in on the social media. Check it. Eric, what's happening? Appreciate you coming in here. Share the playlist. Wait. No, Evan, there's not a singer named Tank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra is this guy. Okay? I forget who even gave me this. Somebody gave me this. But yeah, if I can do this correctly without the light shining all over it, yeah, you can kind of see his name up top. Anyway, that's Frank. So Frank Sinatra is the singer. Tank Sinatra is the account. That is hilarious. I enjoy his memes, and now it's like commentary. He does a lot of commentary on the TikTok and all that fun stuff. So there you go. Bro, I'm kidding. I got a bridge to sell you for. Thank you, Evan. Or Eric. I appreciate it. Wait, hold on. No, Evan. Appreciate it, Evan. There we go. Just making sure for the kids watching. They don't know the classic music. Anyway. The social media check-in. Thank you very much. It's brought to you by SteakMan, SteakMan.com. Real quick, all I got for you, the Morning Rush. I hit the Flyers earlier in the show today. They had an awesome game. Morning Rush segment. I just want to let you know that the Boston Red Sox are absolutely on fire in the ALCS. Right now, they're up 2 games to 1 on the Houston Astros in that best-of-7 series. And today, you have the Dodgers taking on that other team they're playing, the Atlanta Braves. And the Braves are up 2-0 in that series. So that series gets back underway today. Thanks for watching. The kids only tune in if PJ lets them. That's a poll, Evan, from a while ago. Good hustle on you for that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. That was our morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars at SkyMotorcars.com. Thanks for listening. My thanks to our good friend Hugh Douglas for being back on with us today on a happy Hughes Day, as well as Kyle Neubeck from Philly Voice. We'll see what Ben Simmons says today, folks. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. I'm Marc Farzetta from the Steven Singer Studios. For Jim Hyden, who produced the program, this is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Can't wait to hear what Ben has to say. See ya.